And what do you find?
I find a lot of stuff that I don't like.
Heavily dislike, I might say. Heavily dislike, I might say. Something is missing. Something is missing indeed.
You know this feeling?
You know you've managed.
Bam, Alter! I mean, you know you've managed. It doesn't matter, right? You've set yourself a goal. You set yourself a goal and you managed to reach it. I mean, you know, I haven't reached it now, but I know I will manage, and that's a promising, very promising thing to know. So if you've worked hard, I mean, I really worked myself through shit to do this with the 177 videos. 177? I always want to say 177. So I literally worked myself through hell to be able to sit here now in a previously clean room, you know, be smug about drinking a coffee and probably going to eat some pancakes soon. And yet, I mean, what is there to celebrate? I haven't even made it yet. But I know I'm about to. And I know I will manage. Because before, it was more like, you know, it was stressful because it was still so much work to do. And I didn't know if I would make it. And now suddenly I'm here. And I realize, hey, right? It's like handing in your thesis and then knowing that you finalize your studies, or like any other goal, right? You can do that short term, you know, when you go running. Every time, right? You succeeded, like, yeah, finish line. To me, I have long-term goals, I have short-term goals. And I think it's important as a man to have goals. And I just have to look at that book called The Alchemist. Highly recommendable. But to read it not just like a story, but also to understand what does that mean for you, right? What are your pyramids? What are your pyramids? What is your Egypt? What is your treasure, maybe? And that's the thing, if he wouldn't have gone to Egypt first, he would have never found his treasure, and he could never have returned to his wife. And she said she was waiting for him, right? She was waiting for him. But he had to reach his Egypt, and I think my Egypt and my pyramids is financial independency and success in what I'm doing. And that's the thing, right? I want to be successful as a YouTuber, as a podcaster, and as an author, and as a musician. So I have quite some things that I want to reach, and for that I'm determined. And I know now that despite me drinking coffee, I still managed to reach it. And I also still managed to, you know, not shout at people anymore. Because I have found an outlet. I have found some kind of inner peace and inner balance. But I also realized that if I continue to, you know, overuse coffee, you know, I don't have to stop drinking it. But I know it's like Pandora's box, right? You drink one and boom, like open it all up again. So you have to be careful, because that's now, I have managed already multiple times to stop drinking coffee. For a month, maybe even longer. Sometimes maybe for 2 months, 3 months, I lose track of that. And then, you know, this one moment, oh come on, just one more. Boom! And suddenly, you know, you're back in it. You're back in it. And that's why right now I don't trust it. Right, for example with smoking. I quit smoking. I made the decision. And it was New Year's Eve, I believe. Or maybe the day after or something. I tried it once more. And I realized, blah, it's disgusting. Like even puffing, I just puffed it. And I thought it's disgusting, so I let go of it. And what do I see myself doing now? You know, in times of struggle? Smoking. If everything gets too much, I want to smoke again. Because smoking is a form of stress release. And so is masturbation, and in a way so is coffee. And what is stress? Stress is accumulated energy. Stress is emotion. Stress is stuff that's in here and that doesn't flow properly. Because, you know, you don't do something with it, so what do? You move. You go onto the slack line and maybe you go for a run. But you don't have to. You don't have to run. Right? You can also do like yoga postures. And like I said, these are building your muscles as well. And maybe not if you want to be like Hulk Hogan or something. But I mean, look at some of the yogis. They're quite fit. Like they're strenuous, right? But they're quite fit. They don't eat much. They themselves are enough already because the source of their energy comes from within and not from without. And I seem to like, you know, get the feel of it. But I'm wary of making drastic changes now. Because I've realized if my change is too drastic, every time I will fall flat on my face again. And that's why, for example, now, if I have one day where I feel good, I feel like, woohoo! Right? What could I do then? I could then go to everybody and like, hey, you know, give it all away. But I don't do that. Sometimes I catch myself, you know, wanting to give people a lot of happiness, and then I say, keep it within and let it out gradually. Right? You can go into a room and like, boom, 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 pump all your energy into it. And maybe some people will dance. But the better way to do it is to just close your eyes and you just start dancing for yourself. And then you're not like trying to rile up everybody. No, you're just slowly building up the mood. Starting to turn the energies. And then you learn to dance for yourself. Like nobody's there. I mean, look at some of the videos I made, dancing with your shadow self, for instance. This is me dancing alone in my room. Like, I usually don't do that because, you know, I also have to have space and, well, I could do it. Maybe tomorrow I will, I don't know. But just in general, like, I just learned to be wary of drastic changes. And that's why I also realized, you know, how I talk now. It's like, wah! And sometimes I was overwhelming people because I have so much hidden potential, so much energy that I can give to someone. But it's like, imagine somebody walking and then you go and you give them a potato, you know, to carry it. They think, oh, that's alright, and then you keep piling potatoes, and in the end he's standing there, oh my god, I can't hold it, because at the same time he tries to walk his dog, like, what am I supposed to do? And, you know, all the potatoes will topple to the ground and he feels shit. He will feel shit. And that's how you can see it with energy. Like if I were to come to you now and overwhelm you, you don't know what to do with it. And then it's disturbing because you think, wait, how can he feel so good if I feel so miserable? And then you think that you must be miserable indeed, because you're not as happy as I am. But it's just, you know, it's relative. I'm relatively happy. Right? And maybe you're relatively miserable, I don't know. But that's just your thing, right? I mean, it's just that life itself, interacting with people, becomes much more intense. You can look at someone and you can spark them in an instant. That's the kind of gift you can have. You can look at someone in such a way. I only had it once. It was my dad walking past, and I was sitting in the kitchen. He was walking past in the hallway, and he walked past like this, right, like really downtrodden. And somehow he saw me looking at him, and poof, it like lit a fire inside of him. And suddenly he was like, oh! Because I saw him. Sometimes we're lost inside of ourselves because nobody's looking at us. Tomorrow you will hear something else about this. This is an exciting day for me, by the way.